Talk Show.
It's the Daily Talk Show, episode 592.
Ryan John, welcome back, baby boy.
592.
Yeah.
If I don't know we're this close to another milestone, I would have pushed back till next Thursday.
Oh yeah, you were.
You already did the counting?
That's a solid calculation.
It's not that hard.
No, but he's a smart guy. I would have
you
to, I
added
would have
a
to get
weekend and
paper
then
out.
extra-
I've got an honours degree in finance.
I know you are a smart man. Do you manipulate your tax return? Like,
Yeah.
do you understand it?
Yep.
You do it above board.
No, of course not. You get back what you're entitled to.
Actually,
Did you learn much about auditing? Getting audited?
I did a subject in auditing. The company I worked for had an auditing department, but I did not work there, and I just trying to avoid the audit thing. One of the greatest things I did, though, was get someone a discount for used to be able to drive 5,000 kilometres for business purposes.
Yes.
5,000 or under, you didn't have to prove it. It was low enough, whatever.
Great.
Yep, you did 4,999. Guy didn't even have a license, let alone a car.
Yeah, really? And it was fine?
Yep, couple of grand back. Thank you.
I mean, can it all?
They check that now, though.
What's the?
And so you're a financial advisor. I'm not a qualified.
Do you reckon that,
professional.
like, when you go on news.com.au and they say the ATO is targeting this, and this year, are they actually doing anything?
My experience was, think of it this way. If BHP Billiton does something dodgy and they skip out on $20 million worth of tax, are they going to chase you up for this other $8.50 that you didn't pay that
This
one?
was like the
Yeah.
Google tax thing or whatever that they were calling it, where big companies were doing a bunch of offshore stuff. I remember they did a
Big
whole
time, yeah.
Uh,
So you got to just think, is it worth the ATO's time to chase your small thing?
Lance-
But when they say we are targeting this, they actually are, because every year there's different things. For instance, influencers last year, like most influencers assumed they didn't have to pay tax. And it's like, no, it's your job, it's your income.
I mean,
You don't-
you're giving them the benefit of the doubt that they even assumed. They
Yeah.
just didn't think
They just
about
didn't,
it.
yeah.
They thought they would just be able to do a brand deal with the ATO. Just a little photo with their tax return, just doing my
yeah,
tax return.
yeah.
I wonder if I don't think influencers can do shit with the government stuff. Remember, we
They
had
definitely
fine.
can. They have in the past.
Yeah, they
Well,
can, but there's
it's all
a
changed.
lot of tape around it. My
Red tape, in fact.
dad got audited twice, his company, in landscaping. They were targeting landscapers years ago.
Really?
And he got twice.
Because landscape is obviously
I don't know. They're just choosing an industry.
Well, I tell you who they
picking
should
something to
target
go
this
after.
year. Because I just went and had lunch before we did this episode.
okay,
They should
call
target
someone out.
every business on this street, because none of them take card. They're all cash.
Yeah, yeah.
And when I hear cash only, I just go, oh, so you guys don't pay tax?
Yeah.
Like, that's my first thought, and I can't think of any other reason why they wouldn't.
What about,
Yeah.
I actually went to the hairdresser the other day. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah.
28
You're wearing a
bucks.
hat, mate. Don't give me
Yeah,
that.
I've worn a
Thanks
hat
for
because-
noticing.
Yeah. No, it was $28, $2 cheaper than $97 what he pays.
Yeah.
It's cheap still.
And it was at Shoppo. Anyway, when it came time to pay, there was cash only, no FPOS. And I had no cash.
In a shopping centre.
In a shopping
Oh.
centre. And so I was like, so I called Bree. I'm like, hey, babe, you're going to have to come and give me cash. They only accept cash. And she's like, can't you just walk and get it? I was like, I didn't even ask. Can I just walk? And they're like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so that's
I
what
went to the
when I got
ATM.
lunch before, they made me the pork bun roll at the Vietnamese bakery, and I had
Yeah.
to walk back down the street to get cash out and go back.
The people will find a reason to complain about the places that are only offering FPOS. Like,
What do you mean?
There are some places that
The butcher.
it's like, we won't accept any cash. It's only
I
FPOS.
like that.
Where did we go on the weekend? Some event. Where were we?
Some festivals like that now.
There
The
was
whole
somewhere
festival's
we went
cashless.
to, yeah, and it was
Where
a
we all
cashless-
went.
I can't remember if it was with
Australian
you
Open.
guys. Maybe it was Australian Open. There was something.
Country road stuff were they doing?
Something. No, not Country Road. Maybe Country Road.
Have you guys discussed the guy
Maybe
at
it
Country
was.
Road? Is on air yet?
The guy at
that
Country
we were
Road.
talking about earlier?
Who were we talking about earlier?
Why guys would work at Country Road?
Tommy was saying that they're a client of ours, Country Road.
Yeah.
But he was saying that if you were single, you should work at Country
Mate,
Road.
If you're gay, straight, the people there are beautiful. And they're wearing Country Road clothes. They look
They
amazing.
look at the part.
No, but seriously, it's one of those. There's like so many businesses that just
Have hot employees.
you can just tell that they're all just they're all hot. All right, I'm in a hole.
Anyway,
I'm in a hole.
How are they a client? Is this the same as when you guys were getting rod and gun for cheap?
No.
That was our
different.
influence. This is our video production
This is
services.
actually Country Road give us cash,
My mistake.
whereas Rod and Gun gave us blazers, which are beautiful, by the way. Beautiful quality. Real. I always get compliments whenever I wear them. On my blazers.
Yeah,
I've got
what
one.
are you going to do the mail on the show? Is that what
Yeah,
this is?
got a bit of mail.
All right,
Who wants to
Agro,
open?
go for it. I will.
It says the Daily Talk Show.
Yeah, it's been opened though. So
You don't have to ruin
Josh,
the-
act surprised.
Oh my God, what is it?
Act really surprised.
It's a letter.
We're being audited.
Oh my God, it's a
Cash
cease and
money.
desist.
I mean, the tax department are going to want to know about this.
Yeah.
There's cash being sent
That's
through the
income.
mail.
Return sender commercial radio. Oh
Please shut up about all.
no. No, we don't. What is-
All right, to my favourite Gronks. My name's Isaac, and I've been listening to the Daily Talk Show since the early 2-digit episodes. Wow, that's an effort.
That's commitment.
And you guys never to fail to cheer me up. I live in Clifton Hill. Amazing how many people actually live in surrounding areas to us, just randomly. So it's nice to know that the Gronks are only around the corner. I look forward to club activities in the future, and I hope you have a great day. Best regards, Isaac. P.S. I have to buy an envelope, printer ink, and a $1.10 stamp, so I hope you enjoy the cash.
So Isaac had to do all that. So Isaac has given us some cash. What's
the deal with the cash? What
Hang
have I
on, it
missed
says
here?
please scan a QR code.
Yeah.
Yeah, what happens?
So you got the.
Okay, open YouTube link.
It's a modern way of doing dick pics. Just
Oh my
QR
God,
code.
what's going on? What is this video?
Is it? It's a classic. It's a classic Rick
Well
roll.
done. That's one of the great Rick rolls of our time.
I mean, that's.
QR code, Rick Roll.
Printed on a piece of paper.
I appreciate that.
Oh, wow.
2020, ladies and gentlemen.
You're clever, bro.
I mean, that's. I mean, yeah, 20.
Isaac, you're a legend.
Yeah.
$2 Canadian bill.
Can I have a look, please?
Yeah, I've never seen Canadian
So
money.
it says. It says.
It says two.
Dukes.
De. How do you spell in French? Deux. De.
Dukes.
Do. Anyway, it's not Dukes.
Dukes. Put your dukes up.
You know, but $2 Canadian. That's actually quite
Valuable.
Solid.
quite solid.
But I
That's-
mean, if you're not going back to Canada or you have no plans of it,
anyone else?
we could send this to Dill. But no, we're keeping the
no,
cash.
no,
It'll cost you more.
to send it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why.
Well,
it's
no,
fun.
hang on. Isaac's bought a bought a printer,
Yeah.
ink. He's done the full.
he's
work.
done
Anyone
hard
else
work.
smell money? Anyone have?
Yeah,
a thing?
I love it.
It doesn't really have that much of a smell.
No. I mean, this would roll up. Anyway, okay.
Canadian.
You just moved house.
Yeah, I've moved out. Did you know this is the 9th house I've lived in 7 years?
Too
Wow.
Moving sucks.
I mean, getting audited is fucked.
Yeah. Yeah, every time Ryan, you're getting audited. Oh, sorry. Do you mean Ryan who lives in Scarborough? Because I'm Ryan from North Fremantle, so it's
jeez.
fine.
And
No, we just moved to Beaufort, which is a small little town just outside Ballarat,
Cute.
which is it is actually a really cute town. We're right on the lake. The dog loves it. And then my partner Bridget, her winery is about half an hour further out.
Yeah.
And then it's about an hour and 40 for me to drive into town.
Can you bring back down some wine? We can do
Yeah.
a wine session on the show. We'll have some wine. Have some of her wine.
Yeah, definitely. Because you're into the red wines.
red
We've spoken
wine,
about
yes,
this.
yeah.
And you're
I
back on the
red
wagon.
wine. I just don't flaunt it like
Yeah,
Josh,
Josh does. He talks a
like-
big game.
I love red wine. I
As
drank
much
a
as
lot of
me.
red wine.
So Bridget's
Probably
winery
more.
makes a sparkling red.
Not into it.
And it's
Do
really
you mean like a
weird.
dark rosé?
No.
No, it's a red wine bubbly.
Yeah. It's real strange.
Is it any good? I mean, you got to say it's good.
Because
Experiment.
we first were like, really? Because it's this really old traditional thing. Like people
Yeah.
really old would have had it back in the day. And it's one of these old places that makes it.
Yeah.
But then I've tasted it and I kind of didn't want to like it because I wanted it to be like the young, cool, like new one. But I actually don't mind it.
What about
And I gave it to a present to a friend of mine yesterday, Tim. And he's like, oh, my family loves it. We can
Get
never
around
find it
it.
anywhere. So yeah, sparkling Shiraz.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
And it's not the same as just getting red wine and putting it into the soda stream because it will blow up.
Will it?
Yeah,
Look at it on YouTube.
Oh.
Kid puts red wine into soda stream. It's fucking hilarious.
What's
Yeah.
the
So good.
what's the deal with chilled red wine?
It doesn't have to be like depending on how cold.
So there is some red wine that you chill.
Supposedly.
Why?
I only associate chilled red wine with sangria and getting blitzed in Portugal.
Yeah, I mean they're not even putting in. It doesn't come out of the fridge in Italy. Like
No.
it's
What,
and
chilled?
They're OGs.
Well, no, so like red wine normally isn't.
Well, that's
like
why
it's room temperature.
sellers. I mean, I had some rich PT clients that had cellars, and so some of them are just at a certain temperature. So it's not like a fridge, but it's just at a certain temp.
Yeah,
for
where it
red.
can
What's
stay
can you look
forever.
up? What's the best temperature for red wine?
Because we have wine, heaps of wine at our house. And
How many bottles?
we've just got rid of half.
Where did you get rid of them?
Gave them away and had a big dinner party. But I reckon we were probably carrying around, because we moved, like I said, we moved so many times. I reckon we had 250 bottles of wine.
Oh, Jesus.
And so when you're going from across the country and you got to move this wine and make sure it doesn't break, and then when you get to the new place, you got to find a place to put it and store it where it's not going to, warm
bad.
up and go
Affected.
bad. Yeah.
How many times a week are you drinking?
Not many. Like I might have one with dinner a couple of times a week, and then
So
maybe a few
you're
on a
already
Saturday
ahead
night.
of most that only have one drink a week. So you're
Most people have more than one drink a week. Sure.
or one session. So don't be
I wouldn't say
ashamed
having
of
one drink with dinner a session.
I think anytime you call
it's
something
drinking.
a session, it's probably a problem.
Yeah, but I think what Ryan's trying to do is identify the session. So it's
Well,
like
back in the day-
because you said, look, it's with dinner a couple of times a week,
So
which then is multiple days,
now I'd say
which is not a bad thing. I'm not having
I'd
a go
say-
at you. Stop defending. Stop
I'd
getting so
say
defensive, mate.
32-year-old Ryan, 2 or 3 times a week, I would have one drink. 22-year-old Ryan, every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, write it off.
22 drinks a night.
Yeah. And so,
Did you go to the Skinny Dog in Kew? Did you used to go there?
Yeah, but that was just a warm up to go to Cheers and a half.
In Hawthorne?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. Like inside.
what are you laughing at?
No, Tommy pointed out the Skinny Dog Hotel the
Yeah.
other day when we went past.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
It's
They
classic.
used to have a big Christmas Eve there.
That's when I went there.
Really?
Only time I ever went there was Christmas Eve.
There you go, folks.
No, was it? I think I made that up.
All right.
And so are you getting when you do have your 2 drinks a week, is it a beer? Is it a wine? Is it a spirit?
It's usually a spirit, a whiskey.
Really?
Yeah. 'Cause
So
I don't like beer that much, and with the wine, I don't often appreciate it. And because if it's in a bottle, we'll save it for as a group of friends. We can open it. Because if Bridget and I just have one glass each, then we've got half a bottle
Yeah.
open.
And what about Bridget? Because she works at a vineyard.
She'll drink beer because she's been sipping wine all day, so she'll get home and have a furphy or whatever, or
Yeah.
a couple, depending on the mood. She drinks way more than I do.
Well,
Easy.
It's in
Was
a
she
job
a-
description.
Yeah.
Did she get passionate about alcohol and then join a vineyard, or how does that come about?
No, because I guess she's got a degree in viticulture and oncology.
What's it called?
Viticulture and I think oncology, which is the science of.
Viticulture and oncology. Oncology sounds like
It does. Can you look that up? That doesn't sound right.
An oncologist sounds like some sort of in a hospital. Like, you got to go to
Yeah.
oncology.
Yeah. Well, there's 2 parts.
Yeah,
There's
so
one.
the viticulture,
Yeah.
which is the cultivation and harvesting of grapes.
Yep.
Great.
And then what was the other one?
Oncology, but it just doesn't sound right.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds technical.
Yeah, no, the study and treatment of tumours.
It's viticulture and something else, but basically,
Oncology. They are at hospitals.
yeah. But one of them is basically making the wine in the lab, and the other one is like the horticulture side of growing the grapes out of the ground. And
Can you
stuff
see
like
yeah.
degrees?
I found it.
what is it?
It's, it's spelled OENOLOGY.
Play it through the
Owen-
speaker, maybe.
Just give it a crack.
Oenology.
Oenology. I see.
Close.
Here we go.
I see where you've got. Here we go.
Definitely not.
Hang on,
Here we
hang on.
go. Here we
Google's
go.
going to give it to us.
Give it a second.
Here we go.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, hang on. No, you know what? I got the tab muted. That makes
Okay.
Okay,
sense.
here we go.
Here we
Good
go.
boy.
Enology.
Do it
Enology.
one more time.
Enology.
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 Viticulture and enology. That's what I said the first time.
Oncology. Yeah. Oncology. It's like we got a.
She makes wines and removes tumors. So
well, we got given a terrarium
Yeah.
that's what it's fun.
from
I
Gronk
did.
Jake.
Yeah.
That's actually is it a Swedish? Who was telling us? HYGGE, like we say Hygie or whatever. It's actually like a different language. I think.
While we're on the
Danish?
pronunciation.
Means
maybe.
fun.
Fun. There you go. Did you know that, or did you
No, I
Google
just
it?
Googled it.
Okay, all right, that would have been impressive.
Yeah.
But I'd been calling it a pterygium,
okay, that's
which is not a pterygium is, I believe, an eye. Can you look up what a pterygium is, Sevs? I believe it's also known as surfer's eye, and it's when there's discoloration in the eye. Bree had a little bit of
my
a.
old man's got that.
Yeah.
He's got surfer's ear.
Just while we're talking about drinking and like being younger and stuff, I want to ask both of you. I'll answer as well. And it might be tough for
On
you.
the
I'm
count of
guessing it's tough
three?
for you. No.
What is this?
What
mean?
was either the first nightclub or the nightclub that you frequented most often as an 18-year-old, like as a young first sort of drinker in Melbourne?
It was 7 nightclub on Thursday nights.
Oh, they were like $1 beers, right?
Yeah, and then went to
That's like St Kilda
Prince
Road.
of Wales,
Is that St Kilda Road?
just off
7?
St Kilda
Yeah.
Road. Kettle Black, right next to Kettle Black.
Yeah.
And then I
times?
went to, it was great. And then Prince of Wales
Yeah,
was,
classic.
what was Saturday night there? One Love.
What does
Yeah.
that mean? They just play that CD.
No, it was,
Yeah.
One Love is Yeah, it was the venue, and they released CDs from the venue. So you experienced the CDs, did you?
Yeah, I remember.
But you
that
had no
Grant
idea what it
Smiley,
was
your
from.
mate? No.
Grant Smiley was at 7, and then went over to Prince with his mate John.
What about
I'm trying
you,
to
Josh?
think of there was a place on maybe Burke Street or so. It's not Commons. I can't remember
Carlton
what it was.
Club?
Nah. What is it called? Just name every club that you know.
Billboards.
Nah.
Those walls could do it.
on Burke.
Yeah.
Metro.
No.
Metro.
It was but I never actually went. I was filming. It was
That's why that might be hard for Josh
it
to
was
answer.
for Unitix.
Down the other end. Yeah, I know it. It was like a stone brick building.
Yes, yeah. What is that called? Sevs? Can you
Oh,
look
I
up?
think that's just called the Melbourne Bar or the Melbourne Club or something.
Nah.
Colonial.
Colonial
Hotel.
It is. Good job.
Good. I mean,
That's kind of that's not King Street.
yeah, that's King Street.
Well, so when I remember
Across the street from some
seedy
gentlemen's lounge.
establishments.
Yeah.
But I interestingly,
he was also filming there.
or not interestingly, I remember I worked with a VJ and they plugged in my camera, and so they were like doing all effects, like, you know, on the screens, like all this wacky stuff, and then they would cut to my footage that I was doing live, and I would zoom in on people.
Oh, great.
And did that go off?
Nah. I think I only did
one
it
of those
once.
$150 jobs.
Yeah. XGST.
Colonial Hotel also used to be the host of Next, which was on Thursday night, which is a bit of an emo night.
Yeah.
Which I got amongst
Did you?
when I was in year 11 and 12.
What, you were an emo?
No, not full time, but I was. But I'd say
Part-time.
But if I was going to, if my friends were going to like an emo club, I'm like, yeah, I'll chuck on a black t-shirt and go hard for a couple of hours.
Really?
Yeah,
There's a great song.
I'm a chameleon. I can go anywhere.
Can you, mate?
Is a
I mean,
chameleon?
look at your t-shirt. You're blending into
Is a
our
chameleon the
bloody
right
wall.
word? That you just
Yeah,
blend
yeah,
into your
chameleon,
surroundings?
yep.
Yeah.
So what were you? So because you played beach volleyball, or was it volleyball?
Volleyball. Oh, volleyball first,
Why
then
is that
beach
so
volleyball.
fun? Why is that so funny?
Sounds like a leisurely game.
Yeah.
Or has he played like Olympic level, or like he played
Play for Australia.
for Australia?
I played mostly indoor, but then I played a season or two of beach at the end.
And so I guess you're a chameleon in that regard. If you went from emo to volleyball, that's a pretty
Oh no,
big
I could
jump.
be an emo on a Thursday night and then get home, have a shower, and go be a beach volleyballer in the morning.
What was your music taste like growing up?
Oh, again, real wide range. Because if I was going out to those places, this is like, I'm trying to think of the kind of bands that would have played at like emo night back in the day. Like My Chemical Romance, that kind of
that's
stuff.
great.
Yeah, Panic
but-
at the Disco.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And then I also was a bit of a, you know how Jack Johnson and John Butler and that kind of hippie guitar music was real
Loved
big?
You're into
I was
that.
into that.
I love
yeah.
Pete Murray.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you-
Pete-
Pete Murray's a
Come
poor
on.
man's Jack Johnson.
Oh, that's very rude.
Yeah.
I'd love to get him on the show one day.
Pete?
He did a.
You know what? He'd be
Performance.
available. You'd get
Do
him.
you reckon?
You get him before you got Jack Johnson or John Butler.
Okay,
I'd love
that's
that.
fair.
He was a rugby player in his past.
Pete Murray.
Pete Murray was. You're going to know these facts
he
about Pete
performed-
before he comes
Yeah,
in.
he performed at the zoo.
Recently.
Nah, like this was 2005. or something.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
They call him the
That
animal.
was good.
right.
What do you reckon the best music, like unconventional music venue is? Like place where you've listened to music where there probably isn't normally music, like the zoo.
Okay, so I was playing volleyball in Serbia,
That's good.
and it was the week before Exit Festival.
What's
So
Exit Festival?
Exit Festival is probably one of the biggest after Glastonbury, one of the biggest in Europe. And so it's a small town. Oh, when I say small town, Belgrade's the biggest town in Serbia. It's like an hour away is this place called Novi Sad, which is awesome. That's where I played volleyball. And so it was like a river, a cliff, like next to the river, and on top of the cliff was a castle, and then the event was in the castle.
Oh, that's
Yes.
good.
And
Did
that
you
was
go
the
in the castle?
Yep, I was in the castle and I saw, the guy passed away last year. What's the song?
Avicii,
Firestarter.
Avicii.
No. Real crazy band. Type in Firestarter 97.
The Prodigy.
Yes.
He passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, real sad last year. But the Prodigy with 100,000 people in a castle. on top of the
100,000
hills.
in the castle.
Oh, like, and in the grounds.
Okay, yeah,
sure.
But that was, we were probably 100 meters back from the front and we could barely stand up because of the push and shove of the crowd.
It's full on.
And I can only imagine what it would be like up the front in the crush and stuff. But that was like life-changing.
in the
amazing.
crush, the
Yeah.
section's just named what you'll be, what will happen to
Like
the
I said,
crush.
we were, like I said, we were playing volleyball, so we were like really fit. And even 100 meters, we were struggling to like just stay standing
Stand
and
up.
not like,
Good call workout. It was still training. Just
Yeah.
it was Bit of post.
And if anyone, if there was anyone doing what's the surfing called when you jump into the
crowd surfing. There's a lot of that. And then after them,
you'd have been great. Spike 'em.
There was this new artist up and coming. This young girl called Lily Allen came on.
She's
played on the small stage, and Chasing Status.
I don't know who that is.
That's Josh.
Always.
That's his nickname.
They were a dubstep band.
Oh yeah,
which I liked as well.
What would you rather be, a famous musician, sports person, or actor?
Oh, that's a good question.
Which one? I mean, there's
wouldn't be actor. No
Why
way. Nah.
Well, it's not based on your skill level because
no, but I don't know. I just don't like it.
But you're playing people. You don't have to be yourself. Like you don't have to reveal
that's
who you
what's
are.
wrong with him.
I struggle so hard to be myself as is. The least imagine trying to be someone else.
So the other option was music performer, or what was the final one?
I think because I was an athlete,
sports stuff.
I'd choose athlete just because I genuinely loved playing. Didn't like training though because you're always sore and hurt and stuff. That bit sucked. But
what do you reckon, TJ?
Yeah,
it's a hard one. I mean, musician's lifestyle.
I'd be a ripped musician, like a very fit musician.
Would you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was an option.
Well, I just don't like.
Well,
Why don't you be
a ripped actor as well?
Why don't you be
an actor? Let's be honest. Like,
yeah, I'd be a musician as well.
Have you met an actor in person that you've liked?
Reece Mitchell's lovely.
He's a great guy.
Julian Haig's great.
Yeah, Julian Haig's also great. All the actors.
Those guys and Paul Rudd.
Are you talking about
everyone else tosses?
What? Are you talking about how big the actor,
celebrity,
the more they're not great?
Which actors? I'm trying to think.
Just most of them.
Who have you interviewed that's the biggest actor? Have you interviewed Kevin Hart?
No, probably the only person in Australia that hasn't.
In commercial radio land. We should call you Commercial Radio's Ryan John.
Oh, that's funny.
Can it be formally? Hey, I also bagged out and risked my future prospects today by bagging at Commercial Radio Australia.
I appreciate that.
Formally,
we should play that. We should insert that bit.
Oh yeah, we could.
We'll probably have to pay ticker.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And you know what? As a representative of Ticker, you can have that for free.
Oh, thank
and by
you.
free, I mean
It'd be
discount.
quite good to put
We'll
it at the end. Can we put it at the end of this episode?
Yeah. Or how about we'll link off to your
You share my video.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay, yeah. Because we don't want any.
Lord knows we need to.
We don't want any call outs from Aaron.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you're going to go light on the call out.
Can I just, for context, yesterday Josh bombed up Commercial Radio Australia and the Australian Podcast Ranker.
Mm-hmm.
And today there's comments on Radio Today. Radio Info has said that Josh would have to go into hiding, I believe.
Witness
Hamish
protection.
and Andy have been texting through. There's been lots of updates. I've put the smack down on Ticker.
Do you think anything will? I hope something will happen.
What's your actual view from the outside, Ryan, before you'd seen Josh and I today?
Even before the
Podcast
article.
Ranker?
Yeah.
Oh, no, just...
About life?
No, it was about what Josh had done and seeing that. Or have you guys been speaking, have you?
No, really. So when that came out and I looked at the list, I thought straight away, and I don't know if you got in first, but the whole time I'm like, Commercial Radio Australia has made a list that only includes commercial radio podcasts, which is 2% of the podcast listening.
Mm-hmm.
So how irresponsible to say, oh, here's the definitive list of podcasts and exclude all podcasts. I just couldn't believe it when I saw it because they said, who would have guessed that this Wheatley from SCN would be the third most listened podcast? And I was like, no one would guess because it's not true. It's fraudulent. Just go and sell as the whole point is to go, look how powerful we are. We've got this many listeners. And it's not correct. So it's lying. They're lying. And as someone who's worked there and seen all the twists and stuff they do, it's remarkable. And I learnt last week, here's a fun fact for you.
Oh, yes.
We love fun facts.
Newspaper circulation, when they talk to advertisers and brands and stuff, whatever amount of newspapers they sell, they multiply that number by 4 and they say that's their circulation because they assume that every newspaper gets read by 4 different people.
It's outrageous.
And
I mean, they could probably say that about the Confidential in the Herald Sun.
I'd say this.
Yeah, just just opening up to the picture book.
So how many newspapers are there? There's 2 big ones in Melbourne, Herald Sun and The Age.
Yes.
They both agree to do this ×4 thing. So when anyone questions it, they just go,
industry standard. Yeah.
And I want to know this about
hell.
I want to know this about radio because I've never believed the numbers. I don't know anyone who listens and they come out and go, 1 million people listen this month. And you go, no, they didn't. Yeah. So do they exclude
but they could have. That's it. I think that's their only comeback.
What if
they
were
could
walking
have
past?
They could have.
Well, if it was played in a shop, we times that number by 1,000 because there's lots
What
of people
about
in the
if
shop.
they're all in minibuses? You know,
Yeah.
and there's 15 people.
This is what I want to know about radio ratings. Here's my genuine question.
Yeah.
Do they exclude people from the ratings who don't listen to any radio? So
Oh,
if you
that's
call
interesting.
up and
Yeah.
you say, Josh, I'm calling from the radio ratings. I want to ask you about your listening habits. And you say, I don't listen. Do they say, okay, thank you for your time. I'll call someone else? Because
that's interesting. Yeah, I
because
don't know
if they exclude people that don't listen and only include the people that do listen and times that by population, you can see how problematic those numbers are, right? So 20% of people who actually listen, and then they times it by total population. You're like, no, that's
Well, this
lies.
is, I mean, this
You're
is
a finance guy.
I mean,
Yes.
and
You
this
know
is
this
so
shit.
old. Like the thing is, I
Did you
haven't.
tell I did a subject on research methodology at uni?
Oh, really?
I mean,
Yeah. Well, before you write a thesis, you do a subject on how to research, essentially.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, because I think part of it is
Has Josh done his research?
Yeah.
That's what
Well, I think like part of it is the I don't know about the radio stuff. All we can speak to is what we're experts in, and it's the podcast element of it. And yeah, I think the interesting thing is a couple of people, any feedback that's been negative, which has been very little, the negative sort of tone is, what is your solution?
Yeah.
And I think what's interesting is everyone assumes that like who is for the ranker, if you're going to come up with a solution, you need to come up with like another ranker. But I just think that the whole idea of ranking this podcast stuff is completely flawed.
Yeah. Well, imagine if, like, I go for Hawthorn in the football, and imagine if on the ladder they just excluded the games they lost.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, if they came out and said, here's a list of the most popular radio shows and podcasts, sure. But when you put the stake in the ground and go, we're representing audio listening in Australia, and they're not, like, it's lies.
And then the other thing too is, I guess, the reason, like people say, why are you doing it? And it's because we're
Standing up for the little guy
Yeah.
and sticking it to the man.
but also, and because the other thing is
Says
like,
us three unemployed people.
Hey, mate, speak
we're
for
employed.
yourself.
Yeah, what do you think? We've got a big media company.
Yeah, my mistake.
Um,
Ryan John Creative just launched on LinkedIn. Follow it.
Oh, really? PTY Ltd or just sort of standard sole trader?
Sole trader.
No, there's nothing wrong with sole trader.
He's knows something we don't.
What?
Tax benefits or something.
Yeah,
Why are you
just-
not running a
Yeah,
company?
do you know how much money it costs to?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, mate,
you
we
do.
pay the ASIC fee.
Yeah,
every-
exactly.
Actually, it's going to be coming up pretty soon.
Really?
Factor that in.
I just think that there's like in regards to, I can't remember what I was even saying. Just about
Podcasts.
about the solution stuff. I think, the reason why, people would say, oh, well, give your numbers, which I did. I was like, okay, we get 55,000 downloads a month, IOB 2.0 compliant data. But the point is, it's not about our numbers. This is about the whole industry. This is about like what Shameless are getting and all of that type of thing. So I think some people who are against it have missed the point around what we're saying as well.
Well, and that list also doesn't state the numbers.
No.
Because I hadn't even looked at it in ages and I'd forgotten about what was on it. And then I said to Josh, oh, are the numbers actually on there? No. So it's literally just a list.
Yeah.
Do you know
It
what
could
would be
be in
really
any fucking order.
Do you know what would be really interesting? If Commercial Radio Australia released the ranker, but then gave us the amount of downloads plus the amount of individual pieces of content that are associated with that feed.
So you want to get a listener per audio piece.
Well, so like I just think it would be an interesting thing to look at, which is, okay, say if you are the Daily Talk Show, you would say 55,000 downloads, and then it would say 31 episodes based on we release one every single day.
Yep.
And so what would be really interesting is when you get to the point of people who are releasing, like then you would get to really see, oh, wow, this one show releases 120 pieces of content a day and they're only getting 100,000 downloads. Then you can look at it and say, okay, well, that's not as exciting.
Can I ask an awkward question?
Yeah, sure.
Some may suggest that the Daily Talk Show producing 7 episodes of every week is on the side of we're pumping out.
Oh,
numbers
exactly. And so
compared
this
to
is,
Shameless, who's like, well, we do 4 eps a month compared to your 31.
and that's exactly the point. And so like I think we're in a great position to
God,
do
you're
this.
a bitch, aren't you, Ryan?
Yeah, you fucking bitch. You come on our show and you be
Hey, I went on my show and quoted you earlier
you're
today.
you're right. He's being a bitch. no one says bitch anymore. It's funny though. When
It
you
is
do
great.
It's good.
It is great.
No, the point is why we stand where we do is we're doing original content
Yep.
every single day, 7 days a week. And that's why even when we're looking at from a user experience point of view or a listener point of view, we want to do a best of once a week. And so we've been like going back and forth internally to work out the best way to do it because we don't want to sort of fudge these things and we want to do it right. And so the point is you can do 7 days a week. You could even do 5 episodes a day if it's original content and that's like the best case for the user.
Yep.
Our problem is that it's they're releasing full episodes and then they're doing a bunch of snippets.
Well, Kate, Tim and Marty's my favorite podcast. I listen to that probably more than any other. And I'll listen to the full app. And then when I get to the end, it'll automatically clip to a best bit and that I just heard and I'll skip it. But they would have got 2 listens for that.
Yeah, that's very annoying.
Yeah. And like they're probably the highest listening. They do the best out of any radio podcast, I think. Kate, Tim and Marty.
Do you think that you've worked in, how long did you work in commercial radio for?
6 and out.
Oh, that's right.
6 years.
6 and out.
That's right.
Yeah,
I think it was more close to 7, but I like the 6 and out headline.
6 and out's
so we'll
great.
go 6.
And so what did you learn if there are people from the commercial radio industry watching? I think even specifically, I think that the people potentially who are creating these ranking systems are too far gone. They're too in it. But what about the people who are in the sidelines or the people who are at the regional radio level and they're getting told by their boss, nah, this is the future. This is what it's about. What has your experience told you?
Well, we got pressed really hard at my last job to do podcast specials or best bits or an extended version and stuff for the same reason, to get multiple versions of it out there. And I remember one time one of the producers said, oh, that thing we did last week went really well. It was like an extended interview with The Bachelor or something. And they're like, oh, it's like triple what we normally get. And we're like, oh, great. How good's this? And we're like, how much? And she says, oh, like 600 listens. And we all burst out laughing. And we were like, we do this every day and these like, and you're getting pumped over 600 listens. Like everyone
and it would
laughed
have been before IAB as well.
Yeah. I remember everyone just pissing themselves laughing about that. And which is awkward because like my previous shows would have done way more than that. and
so
they were
what
like
is
celebrating it. But I found that was strange. I think the weirdest thing is that Hamish and Andy worked for SCA, really successful. And for years and years, Sam Kavanagh toured around and said, fans, not listeners. Fans, not listeners. He said it to the company. He said it to the industry. He said it to conferences. He said it all around the world. And not a single person listened to him. Because look what's happening 5 years later. We're talking about listens, but no one's talking about fans. And fans are people who are like actual fans. They're not like listening to win a prize maybe, but they actually listen to you because they want to. And the fact that no one thinks about that is wild. And I think why the podcasts are so successful, the ones that are, like you guys, like Shameless, She's on the Money, is they've built communities and they've built genuine fans that'll fight for them, they'll stick up for them, they'll turn up to live events.
They'll wear a T-shirt that says...
They'll wear a T-shirt.
Rankers are wankers.
Yeah, rankers are wankers.
I think we definitely need to actually do
Mate,
that.
that's you went to action that last night. But you went to bed too early.
Yeah.
I went to bed at 7:50.
But that's fine. Oh, it's hard in some
I
of
said
those.
10 to 8 and Tommy said didn't have as much cut through.
750's got
750's
way
that
much
hurts.
more
That
cut
hurts.
through than 10 to 8.
Yeah, but do you agree that podcasting has these genuine fans and radio
Definitely.
doesn't have genuine fans? They have listeners. And I'm like, the best guy worked for you. Why didn't you listen to his presentations?
This is the thing. Like we aren't even... We're using the word podcasting because it serves us right now.
Yep.
But we're not a podcast. Like there's a reason why we're not called the Daily Podcast. We're called the Daily Talk Show. And this is the thing with radio as well. Like they're so obsessed with whatever the format is.
Yeah.
Even if you look at any of the networks, what they're always saying is like, we are the future of audio. And it's like,
Have you seen the ranker?
Yeah.
Of course they are.
But why focus on that specific medium? Why not be open to...
That was my final straw when I was working there. I had this video idea and they said, we're an audio company. And I was like, show me some audio there. I just couldn't believe that. Like every company, every industry is a video industry. Like every industry is a media industry because you're promoting yourself. For a media company to say, no, we're audio only is
If
staggering.
John's Plumbing in fucking, Dandenong is in the media game and making videos, like what are the networks doing?
It's wild. So today I got into the car, I drove to Ticker. It took me about 10 minutes to get to work. Stayed at a mate's place.
Where does your mate live?
Yarraville.
Okay.
Yarraville.
That's
Yeah.
Quick drive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty early, and it was the first time I listened to radio in ages. And I got in the car. I was halfway through a song. Song finishes, and they said, "Yep, coming up after the news, we're going to do this thing." Then I listened to 3 minutes of ads. The news came on, and then I got out of the car, and I was like, I just listened for 10 minutes and didn't actually hear anything. And then there's a lot of new podcasts now. News.com.au is getting into it. The ABC. There's a lot of, we're doing a 10-minute podcast at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. each day.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can
I've seen
even
these.
say the great thing about like Google Home, you can say what you say to prompt your Google. I won't say it because I don't want to annoy people.
Yep.
If you say that,
It's quite derogatory.
yeah.
Yeah, the way you say it.
What do you
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah, yeah. The aggression in your voice when
Yeah.
you speak to it.
Okay. Fucking Google. I wouldn't have prompted there, Google. That's why I said it. No, you can say that and say play the news, and it plays the news.
Yeah, so news.com.au is doing a 10-minute. ABC's got a 10 or 15-minute, which is great. There's the Squiz. There's the 7 a.m. podcast by Sports Media, which is around here somewhere. And I think when I got in the car this morning for 10 minutes, I can just listen to a 10-minute app and get it done. Or when I listened to the radio, I listened for 10 minutes and didn't get to hear any radio.
So what do we do? Because some of our
So weird.
some of the best entertainers, the people that we love the most, people like the Jason PJs of the world. What can amazing, talented people who are in radio? What do you think that they can do?
Go watch Sam Kavanagh's presentation
But hang
from
on,
5 years
do
ago.
internally or externally
do
from
you,
the business?
well, I guess like you just do you just play the radio game, serve up like do you just
It's the one thing I said to Ryan when when you're in radio. I said, you're good at playing the game.
Yeah,
But
and
then-
I wasn't good at playing the game. And I actually got told by my bosses to play the game. And I was like,
Exactly.
what is the game? Because a
If-
few people
you
have
get
said
shut
that.
up
So the
and do what
game,
you're told
the
and
game
pretend that you
is
like it.
dealing with a co-host that is not your friend. You've been put with them. You just don't like. They're not your
Oh,
person.
but it expands past that
and
too.
and beyond that.
And
But I mean,
putting
that's
up
where
with-
most people fucking stop. And then it's
Yeah.
the doing shit that's nothing you're interested in. Talking, and so it goes way beyond
Yeah.
doing stuff for the money. Like,
Just pretending you like shit that you don't like is essentially is playing the game.
Can you be a radio show and have the best podcast in Australia in 2020?
At this, like the same thing.
Yeah, like do you think
100%,
that, do you
yeah.
think that, and so what does it require, do you think, for radio shows to be awesome at podcasting?
Well, it's just best content will win.
Mm.
I don't think that's for any medium. Like if you're interested, like
Does
this
it
is the
require
weird-
an extra, like you talk about the community and all that sort of thing? And the reason I bring up Jason PJ is you look at their Facebook group. They've got a huge Facebook group and
Yep.
they've got this community going.
Well, I think it's just like using the community. Like Hamish and Annie were obviously the best at when the community had a great story, that became their story, and you just, it creates more content for itself. And I think the weirdest thing that no one ever asks is like when there's so many options, is this actually worth listening to?
Yeah.
And how many radio breaks could you have just not heard and would be fine with?
And it's also like,
and it's
a
not
lot-
for podcasts. A lot of episodes are sort of similar.
and I think there's probably a lot of, like you can hear the same shit happening on, like there is a format
Yeah.
to radio where you know that every breakfast radio show is going to be covering these four
Yeah.
news items.
In Perth, us, Nova, and 96 FM all played a pre-recorded interview with The Bachelor at the same time on the same day.
Was that like a
Was it
planned thing or was it?
No, it was just-
is it Guinness World Record?
It was 8:40, like 8:40 time slot.
That's actually funny. We should call that 8:40. We should call like batch time.
Yeah. Oh, it's just
Whenever it's
where we put it.
8:40, if you
It
know,
is-
it's
it
like
is
what's
what
the time?
happens.
It's batch time.
Yeah, but it was on. He was live on every channel at the same time, and you're like, oh, who's winning there? No one really.
Yeah, I mean, even like the obsession, I guess, of like trying to pretend like you're live is like a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah,
painful as well.
Yeah,
Like,
I was big into that.
your
Why?
life just been, yeah. What do you?
I
Like?
just make it sense because as soon as you start explaining how it was pre-recorded,
You don't
then
have to
You don't have
explain.
to- you just
that's what I
don't-
mean. You just do it.
Yeah, but I think that there is like we've had examples where it's like we had Dan Smith on the couch. He's a radio
Yeah, I know
journalist.
Dan. Yeah.
It's fucking great, and it was so funny. We were pre-recording this episode, and so he like
It's a podcast.
with him-
They're all pre-recorded.
Yeah, but it was like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was a day before or whatever.
yeah.
And he was like radio enough to be like, oh yeah, I'm like, what'd you do for dinner tonight? Oh, last night. He's like, oh, last night being Thursday.
It was a prompter for him to even think about it in that way.
Yeah, Thursday night. What did I?
Yeah.
What's happening, Sebs?
So Ben Vlass says, when I worked in the music retail industry, back when CDs were around, the charts weren't ranked on sales to consumers, but sales to retailers.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow. I worked at Sanity
Did you?
the night, the day after Guy Sebastian won Australian Idol.
Oh, that would have been
big.
huge.
And you know, back in
Rob
the day,
Shannon Knoll.
his single "Angels Brought Me Here" comes out, and I was literally just standing at the counter with a bag of them, just going
What, people were buying that many?
flooding
I thought
in.
that was the bin.
No, we would have sold. Say if we sold 500 CDs that night, 480 of them would have Guy Sebastian, the single
That's
"Angels
cool.
Brought Me
That's
Here."
old school pull. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
we're seeing because all these things are connecting back to dollars. It's like the one thing about radio stations, if there's too many cooks putting their hand in about a podcast, it can just be done
Yeah.
by two people
Yeah.
with a
Just do
microphone.
it yourself. Hey, could you imagine paying $15 for a single?
Far out. I mean, I did. I remember.
Do you know
remember.
my favourite?
No way.
Like,
Yeah,
I
fuck
could
that.
watch any movie ever online, or I could buy one Guy Sebastian song.
I mean, we're in the future. We just got rickrolled by a QR code.
that's
Fucking
genius.
hell.
Thanks, Isaac. The single that I remember getting from Sanity, this would have been like 2005, I think it was, or 2006. It was whenever Princess Di passed away. Maybe it was 2007.
yeah.
Elton John.
Yeah, awesome.
The
Candle in the Wind.
Candle in the Wind. That was fucking
Oh, jeez.
sick. That was
Yeah.
such a good track.
Yeah.
And they released that because of Diane.
Yeah, he
so
sung it at the
this-
funeral.
Yeah.
And was it the live funeral version?
Oh, they did a few different because he changed the lyrics a tiny bit for
Yeah.
the specific
Wow.
one. When was that? When was Candle in the Wind?
Well, that would have been like
Um,
1998, I reckon.
And then
Princess
we can
Di.
finish off. Mr. 97 had a couple other things.
1973.
No, that was when
That's
his
the
actual.
original. That was the original
or
came
whatever.
out.
Oh,
No,
sorry,
that's
sorry.
good. No, that's fine.
Give me a
I
sec.
should-
73.
That's all good.
1997.
Are we still
September
on the
13th.
live stream, by the way, or do I
Uh,
just press?
Hang on, I
Just
just
'cause
hit
old
the
Blar's just
decline.
calling.
There we go. Victoria from She's on the Money said, "Hey friends."
G'day,
Jasna
Victoria.
says, "I'm a fan."
Hey, Jasna. We're a fan of you.
See, she's not a listener,
Thanks,
she's a
Jason.
fan.
Yeah, exactly.
And fans and listeners.
We want to do something once a month with you.
Yep.
And we're talking about that off air. And
Yep.
so when we have more information,
Yeah.
we'll let everyone know.
Yep.
But let's just say Commercial Radio Australia, watch out. No, it's got nothing,
nothing.
it's got nothing to do
But
with you guys. Watch out for Ryan.
Well,
ticker.
I hope to one day be employed by one of their members one day, but I feel like after today,
Really?
it was probably the last.
No, this is it. Mate, you should have told
Probably
us that
a
beforehand.
pretty good run. So.
You can be employed with another big media
6
company.
and permanently out.
Yeah.
That's a daily talk show. If you enjoy the show, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. I'm guessing we will have a few people that don't like us that listen today. Maybe if you've heard
That's
us.
all good.
Yeah, because people would have seen you blowing up,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they would have
And
gone,
they,
"All right,
what the
I'll have
fuck
a
is
listen to
this?"
these
Yeah.
jerks."
Yeah.
And they would have been like, this was an absolute waste of time.
No wonder they're not in the top
Do you know
100.
Do you know what they need? A fucking content director and a big sit down.
They need some more listens, obviously.
Anyway, if you're
And a
that
secret
person.
sound. I mean, I knew all the sounds.
Oh, should we do a secret sound? Sevs, close your eyes.
Okay.
Okay, now
feel
I'm
this.
going to do something and you need to guess what it is, okay?
Okay.
That was so obvious.
What is it?
This is a slip of water.
Yeah, well done. He got this
$10,000.
liquid as well. Yeah, it was quite
And a
good.
Pataki ham. Good on you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a daily talk show. Thank you, Ryan John, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We'll probably see tomorrow, I hope.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Yeah.
Unless you
Nah,
get
you
taken
won't.
out on the way home.
Yeah.
Joshua
Which,
got.
very quickly, Radio Info. The guy that writes for Radio Info, very hyperbolic.
Quite funny.
Yeah,
Quite, is he a
Hey,
comedian?
got a bit of tone about him.
I love it.
I'm
no,
for it.
Yeah, but no, I don't. I'm not actually in witness protection.
I said that.
Do you think
yesterday,
that
I
could be a problem?
What?
Us saying like that whole headline. Do you think CRA could say, "Hey, there now that's an actual that's a lie."
We didn't write that.
I said
Yeah.
that on my show. I called them liars straight up.
Yeah, okay.
About 8
Yeah.
times on this podcast.
Yeah, go after Ryan.
Yeah, PTY.
Oh,
I'm driving back to Beaufort right now. See you guys later.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys.